You know, when I'm out there and living in the house, somebody had you and cops came out here. Told me I was just taking out the garbage. Where you been?
Shit, man, I've been taking care of these motherfuckers.
Oh, damn.
Y'all was coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am. So welcome to my house. So welcome to my house. Mine. You better believe it, cause today won't be your day. I can guarantee it, you should turn and walk away and get to leaving, or I'll let this 12 gauge do all my speaking. Don't push me on the edge, boy. Cause I'm aiming for your head, boy. And all I see is red, boy. I told you not to cross that line. I'm giving you a chance, boy. You see the devil in a glance, boy. Shotgun knock you out your pants, boy. I told you not to fuck with mine. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Y'all was coming in, and now you're backing out. It's hard to talk big with a shotgun in your mouth. I'm glad you brought your friends. They can watch it go down. I got mine too. So welcome to my house. Cause these are my people, and this is my land. This is what we pray for, and this is God's plan. And if you ain't from here, then you won't understand. This is my country, and this is who I am.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV here on this Monday evening in America, Tuesday morning here in Australia. For round number 4, the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprintcar Qualifying Series powered by iRacing.com. Top split, round number 4 of 6. Tonight we come to the virtual Eldora Speedway located in Rossburg, Ohio. For again, round 4, a strength of field at the moment sits at about 6,500. We've got, I think, 25 drivers as we start to see some of the drivers to make their way onto the racetrack. Going to get my drink out of the way. And let's take a good look at some of the drivers on the racetrack as they go down and lay down a lap time. At the moment, after 3 weeks, it's JD Brown who has had 2 wins. He sits atop of the point standings. Clayton Tilley sits in second. Then you got Kenny Miller, Blake Giglio, John Helms. That's your top 5. Tim Smith, he's been phenomenal over the past couple of weeks, looking to try and get that win under his belt. Mason Hannigan, Ross Kaiser, Clayton Davies, and Andrew Hoffler are your top 10 drivers. Richie Preston, 12.695, a 12.695. Nick Cooper, 12.679. Nick Cooper with a 12.679. Preston slower. Here comes Chase Barber on the racetrack in the 39M. There is Paul Bryan in car number 42. The man up, Sim Racing 42. We'll see what he can do. Sean Crossike there, Mike Augustine, Vinny Sansone, Felix Roy, Richie Preston. So far, just 6 drivers have only taken a time inside the first 90 seconds of qualifying. Paul Bryan, 12.971 on lap number 1. A 12.971 on lap number 1. Lap number 2 for the man up, Sim Racing entry in car number 42. Goes a little quicker with a 12.809. And here is Clayton Tilley, the man that sits second in the point standings after 3 weeks of competition. Hello, J-Dub. Hello, Cody. Hello, everybody out there in the social media world. Mason Hannigan, quick time, 12.675. 12.675 for the little hurricane of Mason Hannigan. Blake Giglio, quick time, 12.665. 12.665 for Blake Giglio. JD Brown now goes position number 1 with a 12.641. 12.641. What will Clayton Tilley do on lap number 2? Where will he go? Third, quick Tim Smith with a 12.648. Tilley with a 12.650. And you know these boys mean business right now. Here's Luke Bernier in car number 74. We'll see where he goes. 19th quick. John Helms on the racetrack. Clayton Davies goes 9th quick. Here's the 2 DH of Dylan, the 2 car of Dylan Hauser. He goes 2nd quick with a 12.647. Oh my. It is starting to get a little gnarly. It's getting close with the lap times. It is official. Qualifying done and dusted. And how about it for JD Brown leading the points and now goes quick time with a 12.641. 9 1,000ths of a second separate your top 4 drivers. The heat races are really going to be something special and something to watch here later on. 2 heat races on the program. Top 7 will go through to the main event. I believe, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's top 7. We'll take a look at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. Top 7 it is as heat number 1. They will line up like this. JD Brown for Slick Sim Sports will start on the pole position. Tim Smith for TSM will line up at a position at number 2. Blake Giglio in the Low Drag Esports number 22 will start from position number 3. Nick Cooper will start from position at number 4. Elbows up, Sim Sports driver Richie Preston lines up at a position number 5. Felix Roy will start from the 6th starting position. We go back to row number 4. Justin Norwood will line up at a position number 7. Jacob Harberts will start from position number 8. Vinny Sansone will start from position number 9. Joey Lindgren from position number 10. Then we go back to your final row of Kenny Miller and Sean Crossike will start from position number 11. As we wait for the cars to make their way onto the racetrack. Who are we waiting on? It looks like we are waiting on no drivers. All drivers have made their way onto the starting grid. And now it is time for heat race number 1. 2 laps around the Eldora Speedway. So looking at the point standings, JD Brown, points leader. Tim Smith, 6th in the points. Blake Giglio, 4th in the points. Just trying to go through and have a look who else is in this one. You got the likes of Clayton Tilley. Kenny Miller, 3rd in points. He's starting on the back row here at Eldora. So you got 3 drivers in heat race number 1 that are in top 5 in points. You got 4 drivers that are top 6. So we've got the top 7 drivers in the point standings. JD Brown, Clayton Tilley, Kenny Miller, Blake Giglio, John Helms, Tim Smith, and Mason Hannigan. We'll even throw in Clayton Davis as well. So 8 out of the top 10 drivers are in top split this evening. Heat race number 1. The CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series powered by iRacing.com. Heat number 1 here at Eldora Speedway. We're getting ready to light them up with JD Brown with a monster start down into turn number 1 and 2. Blake Giglio moves into 2nd position. Nick Cooper back there in position number 3. He'll go to the low side, drift up to the racetrack. Here comes Timothy Smith now. Smith works back to the inside. He'll slide up to the cushion. 3 wide. Felix Roy, Richie Preston. Preston and Cooper work wheel to wheel down into 3 and 4. Preston with a slide job. Cooper turns it back underneath him. Meanwhile, battle starting to shape up and form for positions number 2 and 3. Tim Smith getting a run. Preston around the outside of Cooper. Caught the wall on the exit of turn number 2. Brown leads 3 down, 5 to run here in the opening heat race of the night. Round number 4 for the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Qualifying Series powered by iRacing.com. Cooper's got some pressure by Jacob Harvitz in car number 11. Meanwhile, battle again slowly starting to shape up between Blake Giglio and Timothy Smith. Smith in car number 86. Giglio in that 16 machine. Meanwhile, JD Brown, he'll only have a mile and a half to go around this big half a mile of a racetrack. Slide line for 1st and 2nd place of JD Brown and Blake Giglio. Smith closes in, nearly tagged the back of the tail tank and the rear nerf bar of the 16. Giglio protects that top side. Smith tries it down to the bottom side out of turn number 2. You battle on for the runner-up positions and looking to start inside row number 2. Otherwise, you'll start row 3. So a starting position of 3 and 5. The white flag is out. 1 to run for your race leader of JD Brown. Smith is gotten by Giglio. Smith will protect that bottom side down into turn number 3 and 4. Check and flag flies. JD Brown wins. Tim Smith home in 2nd. Good recovery from Smith. Giglio home in 3rd. Preston 4th. Cooper, Harvitz, and Roy make up the top 7 drivers in heat race number 1, and it's the top 7 that go through. That again, just to reiterate, Brown, Smith, Giglio, Preston, Cooper, Harvitz, and Roy all locking themselves into the 30-lap main event in probably about 10 minutes' time. So they'll have a chance and an opportunity just to regather their thoughts, get their cars set up for the featurette for the likes of Kenny Miller, Justin Norwood, Vinnie Sansone, Sean Crossake, and Joey Lingman. Those drivers will be sent to a B main as we get set for heat race number 2, and Dylan Hauser lines up the 2 machine from the pole position to the outside of the front row. It's Clayton Tilley, former Momentum Sim Sports. Black Diamond Motorsports, a little hurricane of Mason Hannigan lines up out of position number 3. Position number 4, it's the 21 car, I believe it is, of John Helms. Clayton Davies lines up the 50 machine from position number 5, and Chase Barber lines up that 39M from position number 6. Tanner Petit lines up at a position number 7. Aiden Forster lining up from the 8th starting position. Mike Augustine from position 9. Luke Bernier in position number 10. Paul Bryan in 11th. And Dean Gertie lines up at a position number 12. So another 8 laps on the board. And again, point standings look like this. Hauser's not inside the top 20. So you've got Tilley, Hannigan, Helms, those 3 drivers are in the top 10. Clayton Davies, that's 4. Petit is inside the top 20, so there's 5. Aiden Forster's inside the top 20, so there's 6. Mike Bernier just outside, sitting in 23rd position, so there's still a lot on the line for these drivers. Heat number 2. CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, round 4 of 6 here at Eldora Speedway, and it's Dylan Hauser to lead us underway. Hannigan immediately looks to the inside there on Clayton Tilley. Tilley back around the outside. The 21 of Helms got some pressure from Clayton Davies, but now John Helms slides to the middle. Will leave the outside lane for both Mason Hannigan and Clayton Davies. You just got to be smart about how you get through the heat race. You want to put yourself in the A main. That would be objective number 1. And then from there, you want to make sure you finish as far up as you can and try and maximize those points. You're watching Hannigan on screen in the 22 machine. Just in front of him by 3 car lengths is Clayton Tilley. Meanwhile, your race leader, Dylan Hauser. Have a look at Clayton Davies. Rails the top side into turn number 1 and 2. Hits the cushion nice and smooth. Comes back down through the middle of the racetrack. Trying to find that speed. Trying to keep that speed and momentum up as now he works through 3 and 4. John Helms runs in position number 5. 10 up at 8. Aiden Forster. Forster in that black, green and white number 20 machine. He is right on the bubble. Everybody in the top 7. Well, they're playing nice at the moment. Meanwhile, coming after your race leader, 3/10 of a second, is Clayton Tilley on Dylan Hauser. Dean Gertie in the 15 machine. Well, potentially about to go a lap down. Although with 2 laps left to run. Whether Hauser can get to him. I don't think there'll be an issue of Hauser trying to get to the back of the 15 machine. But whether he'll have an opportunity to pass him or not is a different story. Hauser's really good. Have a look at this battle right now. Hannigan, he's obviously made a mistake because Hannigan has got past there by not only Clayton Davies but also John Helms. And here comes Tanner Petit now. Down into 3 and 4 for the final time. Checkered flag is out. Dylan Hauser wins. Second to go to Clayton Davies. Clayton Davies home in 3rd. Tilley will grab 2nd. Oh boy, this is going to be tight for the runner-up positions. Let's take a look at your official results. Heat number 2. And it's going to be Dylan Hauser, Clayton Tilley, Clayton Davies. They go 1, 2, and 3. Tanner Petit edges out John Helms for 4th. Helms will come home 5th as he edges out Mason Hannigan, who comes home in 6th position. There was less than a 10th between 4, 5, and 6 finishing positions. Aiden Forster gets the final transfer position. Luke Bernier, Mike Augustine, Paul Bryan, Chase Barber, and Dean Gertie. Gertie, who did go a lap down there in the end, will go through to a B main. Your B main, your consolation, will take the top 4 into the back of tonight's main event to lock in 18 cars out of the 24. So we'll send 6 pack in here after this consolation race. Kenny Miller for Phantom Motorsports lines up from the pole position. Luke Bernier lines up at a position number 2. Justin Norwood rolls off from the 3rd starting position to his outside. It's Mike Augustine at a position number 4. Position number 5, it's going to be Vinny Sansone and Paul Bryan, the 42, will line up at a position number 6. Sean Crawsack will start out of position number 7, and Chase Barber lines up at a position number 8. Joey Lindgren will start from the 9th starting position, with Dean Gertie lining up from your 10th and final starting position. So, with that being said, we are 10 cars, 10 laps, top 4 to the main event. Next week, we head to Cedar Lake Speedway, followed by the dirt track at Charlotte for the final 2 rounds of the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com, who will get the 20 invitationals to that World Championship to have a 35 car driver pro series. You'll be able to catch all that one on the iRacing social media pages and also on dirtvision.com. Consolation race. Kenny Miller says, let's go race them boys here at Eldora. He wants to book his ticket to the main event. Luke Bernier had some company with Justin Norwood now to the inside. Norwood in that pink machine. 3 wide. Vinny Sansone 1, 2, and 3 for the price of 1. 3 wide for the final transfer position. Norwood up on the top side, Sansone. Brian Wheeler slide him on Sansone. Augustine has got position number 4. Barbara trying to throw his hat into the mix there along with Joey Lindgren. Augustine into the back of Justin Norwood. Here comes Paul Bryan now. Sansone fends up the challenge from Chase Barber. Augustine to the outside of Bryan. Now ducks low down into turns 3 and 4 on Norwood. Can Norwood turn it back underneath him? No, he can't. Shutting the door and blocking that little slider was Mike Augustine in the 19 machine. And here comes Paul Bryan in the 42 machine. Joey Lindgren works somewhat to the bottom side of the racetrack out of turn number 4. So give it to Miller, Bernier, Augustine, and Brian. Brian again got some company with Norwood. Norwood smacks the concrete wall. Lindgren with a big move down into turn number 3 and 4. With 5 down and 5 to run here in your consolation race. We keep an eye on that barrel for positions 5, 6, 7, 8. Dean Gertie into the wall. Hasn't passed too many cars as Dean Gertie. Meanwhile, Vinny Sansone putting the pressure on Justin Norwood. There's 3 wide. Barbara, Gertie, and Norwood. Norwood into the concrete wall. And that's going to pretty much seal his fate. 3 laps left to run for your race leader of Kenny Miller. Luke Bernier runs in second position. 3rd and 4th drivers on screen at the moment. That's the 19 of Mike Augustine and the 42 of Paul Bryan. You want to be inside the top 4. Joey Lindgren, here he comes. Lindgren winding the machine up on the top side of the racetrack. Rails the cushion. Bryan into the wall. Ross Chastain styles. Down into 3. Bryan looks low. Here comes Lindgren with a run out of turn number 4. Wide flag is out. Lindgren with a slide jump down into 1 and 2. Bryan turns it back underneath him. This is the battle. Who will go through to the main event? Will it be Bryan? Will it be Lindgren? We'll find out out of turn number 4. Who's going to get a Lindgren stolen from him at the line? Paul Bryan and Joey Lindgren. There was very, very little in it. Kenny Miller gets the job done. Oh my, what a race. Who will it be? Official result says Paul Bryan gets it by 1/1000th of a second. And Joey Lindgren, unfortunately, he will miss out in tonight's main event. Miller, Bernier, Augustine, and Bryan are going through to the main event with 18 cars getting set to take to the racetrack. Boy, oh boy. That consolation race for the final transport was juicy. As we're going to go from back to front, position number 18, scraping in by the skin of his teeth. Paul Bryan will start on the outside of row number 9. On the inside for Team TCM, driving the 19 machine, position number 17, Mike Augustine. From position number 16, it's Luke Bernier. To his inside, your B-main winner for Phantom Motorsports, Kenny Miller from position number 15. And your transfers from the heat races, Aiden Forster lines up the 20 machine from position number 14. To the inside, it's the 91 of Felix Roy from position 13. The little hurricane of Mason Hannigan for Black Diamond Motorsports will start from position number 12, and Jacob Harvest lines up at a position number 11. Position number 10, it's John Helms in car number 21. To his inside, Nick Cooper in the 35 machine will start from position number 9. Ted Petit rolls off, I think it's the 24 from position number 8. And Richie Preston for Always Up Sim Sports driving car number 25 will start from position number 7. Clayton Davies in car 50 will start from position number 6. And Blake Giglio for Low Drag Esports lines up the 22 from position number 5. Clayton Tilley Momentum Sim Sports 51 will start from position number 4. Position number 3, it's a TSM 86 of Tim Smith. And your front row for tonight's main event, Dylan Howes will start the 2 machine from position number 2. And JD Brown, the Slick Sim Sports car number 14 machine, will start from the pole position. Round number 4 of the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprintcar Pro Qualifying Series here from Eldora Speedway. The house that Earl built, Tony Stewart's backyard. We get dirty for 30 here in the main event as we're underway for round number 4. Smith immediately sticks to the bottom side of the racetrack. Hauser into the wall. He's going to lose a spot. Look out, contact between Smith and Hauser, and Clayton Tilley goes on by. Meanwhile, JD Brown will lead lap number 1. A lot of these drivers are very, very experienced at run of the cushion. How will the track play out? Giglio holding off Richie Preston. Preston into the wall. Preston going to lose a spot. There's now Ted Petit goes on by Helms and Hannigan. They work to the inside. 3 wide with Preston through turn number 1 and 2. It's the 21 of Helms in the middle. The 22 of Hannigan down low. And Preston in the 25. You throw in another 20. That's Aiden Forster in car number 20. It's busy. Oh, look out, Bryan into the side of Preston. Giglio trying to get back by Nick Cooper. Slide job by Clayton Davies on Dylan Hauser. Meanwhile, there's a challenge. Top 3. They're all within striking distance. Slider by Tilley on Smith. Smith goes back to the inside. Brown runs the slider line. Tilly will stay locked down to the bottom side through turn number 3 and 4. I think Clayton Tilly may have had second. Not too sure about that one. Tilly slides up. Oh, look out. Hauser into the back of Clayton Davies. Cooper to the side of Davies. Keep it going. We're yellow. How much damage did the 50 machine have? There was slide overs. There was crossovers. There was guys checking up. And unfortunately, just a little bit of Constantina effect sees Dylan Hauser get into the back of Clayton Davies. Oh my. It is starting to heat up, and just to think we're only 5 laps in. These drivers will get the 2 to green signal right now. Your main event for round number 4, the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, yes, powered by iRacing.com here at Eldora Speedway. As you can see, the light's still on. The iRacing.com Chevy Silverado pace truck. So have a look at some of the drivers in this one. Of course, Kenny Miller back there in 13th spot. So we have the top 7 drivers in the point standings in this one. JD Brown, Clayton Tilly, Kenny Miller, Blake Giglio, John Helms, Tim Smith, Mason Hannigan. Like I said earlier, you throw in Clayton Davies, you've got 8 out of the top 9 drivers. Ross Kaiser is the only one to separate those 9 drivers that would be in top split here. Now if we go and have a quick look at the strength of field for this one, it is a 6,600. So it just goes to show you these drivers mean business here when it comes to the official racing side of things. They know how to get the job done. Oh, look out. Davies has got some problems. Cooper got into the back of me. You dare say that Clayton Davies, all he's going to do right now, he's just going to have to ride around and hope for as many caution crashes, and hopefully a lot of people don't finish this race. He's back there in 18th position. Battle starting to shape up for the race lead. Here comes Tim Smith in that EPI, the Elite Performance Industries, car number 86. Meanwhile, JD Brown in that VRS Slick Sim Sports number 14 machine. So the driver that leads the point standings, the driver that has had 2 wins out of 3 weeks, looking for 3 and looking to basically put himself into the Sprint Car Pro Qualifying World Championships once again. Smith with a slider on Brown. Tim Smith leads down the back straightaway. Smith was phenomenal last week at Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway until he got into the wall a number of times. We'll see if he won't make that mistake again. We are yellow. And poor Clayton Davies. You see that car limping back into the pit area. The pace truck will come out. So Smith, I think about how fast he has been over the past couple of weeks. Just trying to think if he must have ran Weed Sport. Well, he's ran all 3 weeks. And he's had 2 top 5s. Kenny Miller's had 3 starts with 3 top 5s, as has JD Brown. Miller's picked up a win. I dare say that would have been in the 2nd or 3rd split. JD Brown has had 2 top split wins. And Clayton Davies has had a top split win. So they're basically Weed Sport. Week number 1 was won by Clayton Davies. Week number 2 and 3 have been won by JD Brown, who will take out round number 4. Of course, we're at Weed Sport for week number 1. Knoxville, week number 2. Federated Auto Parts I-55 Raceway in week 3 tonight. Week number 4, Eldora. Next week, we travel to Cedar Lake Speedway. And then in 2 weeks' time, we go to the dirt track at Charlotte for the final round. The CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com. Live, and you catch all the action right here on Ultimate Dirt TV Live and on the iRacing Live page, front page of iRacing. So we thank iRacing for that opportunity. ready to resume. Your race leader can dictate the pace. The pace truck is off the racing surface and back to the infield. We go back to green. 11 down and 19 to run. Smith, oh, Tilly gets into the back of Brown. Brown going to go around. Petit involved. Roy involved in that one as well. Preston. And seeing as though this is an official race, it's going to be whoever, it's not whoever caused the yellow, it's whoever's brought on the yellow. Essentially, fortunately, if you're in Clayton Tilly's shoes, I believe that was definitely his fault, but again, no live race control, so they just have to do what the iRacing.com service tells them to. Davies and Petit back in the pits. John Helms in the pits. He's worst run here tonight in week number 4. How will he fare at Cedar Lake and the dirt track at Charlotte? Hello, Blake. So I'm sure some controversy from the drivers. So JD Brown is back in the pit area. There you can see that VRS number 14 machine just sitting there. Clayton Davies coming back out onto the racetrack. Doesn't look like JD Brown is going to make his way back on. So we'll go back green. Smith going to lead us to the green flag. Tilly runs in second. Cooper, Hannigan and Giglio, your top 5. How about Paul Bryan from 18th up to position number 6? So he's gone from a 1/1000th of a second difference to get into the show to running near inside the top 5. I don't think anybody's got anything for Timothy Smith. He looks just too fast and too strong in the early parts of this main event. Here comes Hannigan. All over the back of Tilly. Tilly goes to the top. Hannigan went right through the middle of the racetrack. Slick from top to bottom. Tilly back to the outside on Hannigan. Down into turn number 3. Slide job coming. Tilly has to back out of it. Now that puts Blake Giglio down to the inside. Absolutely. You got a feel for JD Brown on that one. Here comes Paul Bryan. Look out. John Helms. Oh, lap car. He's just going to stay in the middle of the racetrack. Let the cars on the lead lap go by. Look out. He gets into housing there just at the top of your screen. And we might be going yellow. For the moment, we stay green. Tilly, he slipped outside. He's back in 5th position. He's got Kenny Miller and Aiden Forster all over the back of him. Blake Giglio running in 3rd position, but it is all Tim Smith out in front at the moment. Hannigan, Mason Hannigan from 12th up to position number 2. He's a +10. Paul Bryan, he's a +14. And Aiden Forster, +9 along with Kenny Miller. So Kenny Miller showing the boys that he can do it in the top split. Tanner Petit on the racetrack, missing that top wing, just trying to maximise his points here in tonight's main event. Forced that to the inside on Bryan with a big slider down into turn number 1 and 2. Bryan looks to try and go back to the inside down the back stretch, but it forced his way to the top shell. Slide job coming there by Kenny Miller on Paul Bryan. And here comes Nick Cooper in the 35 machine. We're a lap away from 10 to run. Brown on the bottom side in the 14. That's a lap car. Giglio, 4/10 of a second back behind Mason Hannigan, just in that 22 to the left of your screen. So there it is, Mason Hannigan with 9 to go for your race leader out of turn number 4. Hauser rolls right through the middle of the speedway. Tim Smith, a 2.5 second gap. Back to Mason Hannigan. Petit on the racetrack. There's the 19 of Augustine. So Smith has lapped up to 11th position. You think he can get to 10th? Well, 10th place is right there. So you have a look at where Smith is. He's probably just under half a track away. And with 7 laps to go, I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to Felix Roy. It'll all be battling for the minor places. Everybody's just spread themselves out here in your A main. Smith works through turn number 3 and 4. He will see 6 to go. He's already down into turn number 1 and 2. Bryan again. 4 drivers inside the top 6 have advanced double digits. Mason Hannigan, Aiden Forster, both those drivers who are running 2nd and 4th, they both advanced 10 positions. Along with Kenny Miller, he's now advanced 10 positions. And Paul Bryan, who you can see on screen in that 42, has advanced up 12 positions. Cooper back there in 7th. Tilly in 8th. And you go back to Jacob Harvitz. There's Felix Roy, your top 10. Dylan Hauser back there in position number 12. Again, just trying to circulate. But it is all the 86 machine of Timothy Smith, who's just been so dominant here tonight. Once they got that green flag run, that 86 machine has just been hooked up on a dime on the top side of the racetrack. Maybe tried to make up for some lost time from last week at the Federated Auto Parts I-55 Speedway. You've got the popsicle sticks. There's a lap and a half to go for the penultimate time. Tim Smith will lead the field through turn number 3 and 4. The white flag flies. 1 lap left to run here in your main event. Round number 4, the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series. Down the back straightaway for the final time into turn number 3, out of turn number 4. And a dominating performance by Timothy Smith. He will win tonight. For our second home will be Mason Hannigan. Third at the line is going to be Blake Giglio. Aiden Forster home in 4th. Kenny Miller runs out your top 5. And you see a lot of cars just limping home in a rough night for some of these drivers you'd hate to see. And it's certainly going to be interesting to see how the points play out for those 20 drivers. We take a look at your official results here coming up on screen. And as it stands, Timothy Smith will win by 3.5 seconds over Mason Hannigan, who drives in home in 2nd position. He started position number 12. So well done to Mason Hannigan. Blake Giglio rounds out your podium. He comes away with the 3rd place. That'll do his chances very, very good when it comes to trying to get into the World Championship for the 410 Wing Sprint Cars in probably about a month to 6 weeks' time. Aiden Forster comes home in position number 4. He also advanced 10 positions. And Kenny Miller also advancing 10 positions to come home and round out your top 5. Paul Bryan, tonight's hard charger, from 18th to position number 6, plus 12 on the night. Nick Cooper home in 7th position. Clayton Tilley in 8th. Jacob Harvitz in 9th. And Felix Roy going to round out your top 10. Mike Augustine, who started position number 17, he went plus 6 on the night, came home in position at number 11, a lap down. JD Brown, who was phenomenal at the start of the night, fell off towards that feature event until that contact happened. He comes home in position number 12. Dylan Hauser again, courtesy of some contacts and some damage, will find himself in 13th. Clayton Davies was on the wrong end of some contacts, home in 14th. Tanner Petit, wrong place, wrong time in 15th, along with John Helms, 16th. Luke Bernier in 17th, and Richie Preston comes home in position number 18. Let's see if we've got anyone. We do not have anyone for the interviews, so that will wrap up round number 4, the Sprint Car, or the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com. Eldora is done. Next week, 8th of November, we go to Cedar Lake Speedway. Then we'll travel to Charlotte in North Carolina. The dirt track at Charlotte, of course, all roads lead to the dirt track at Charlotte, home of the World Finals and home of the final round of the CarQuest Auto Parts Sprint Car Pro Qualifying Series, powered by iRacing.com. You'll catch all that action live right here on Ultimate Dirt TV Top Split Action across Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, on the iRacing Live page, and also on the front page of iRacing. And a big shout out to, of course, CarQuest Auto Parts with their support with iRacing.com. And, of course, big thank you to, of course, iRacing for putting on this event. And that wraps it up here. Until next time, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and the management behind the scenes, I'm Brett Wheeler, signing off, saying good night. We'll see you back next week for round number 5.